Live.
For YouTube?
Yeah, so we'll be on YouTube. We're not live on radio yet, but we'll
Hi,
be on
YouTube.
YouTube.
How
Yeah,
many
we're on YouTube
how
already.
many viewers do you get usually?
In the morning, I get about 150, 170 live.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we are live on YouTube, and we will be live on the radio.
So in the
Yeah.
chat room, I can send you my links.
Oh yeah, private chat. Just hit private chat. Yep,
You see that?
I got it. Perfect.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Be live in a moment. Okay. Let's see.
In a world.
Yep, yep, yep.
If I only had a cool voice like that. Gosh, I would. Well, I don't know if I'm really good friends with.
The story you're about to hear is true.
Catholic commentary. Spiritual warfare. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Jesus 911.
And we are live on an incredible Thursday. I have an amazing guest, a near and dear friend of mine. I've had him on my show many times over, but never on radio and Virgin Most Powerful Radio with me. But we are live, and we're going to be talking about spiritual warfare, how to be prepared. You can ask him anything you want, and that intro music should have gotten people pumped up already, right, Father?
I agree. It
should have, yeah. So we've got the amazing Father Darren Merlino here. I hope I didn't mispronounce your.
No, it's Merlino, correct.
There we go, Father. So I'm happy to be here, Father. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe you've got a podcast, a website, or anything. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive in deep, talking about spiritual warfare and taking anybody's questions.
Yeah, so I was born into a very unique Italian California family. And so the short story is I got involved in video photography in 5th grade. Back in my day, it was called reel-to-reel videos. And now you can use your phone, but like the things were like the size of a small pizza, the reels. And so that really kind of got my love. So when I got called to be a priest, and that's a whole different story in itself, I knew that I wanted to use media, or back then it was called communications, because you had in the 80s, it was called a communications degree, TV, radio. That's all that was going on. So I really, really wanted to work in television and radio. In fact, I went to a video school, learned video production and story writing and lighting and editing, all that kind of stuff. And I really just love that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. And so as a priest, I try to use media now, it's what we call now media, to preach the gospel in urgent, timely, and effective ways. So in my case, I always believe that the method should always change, but not the message should never change, right? So as Catholics, we cannot change the message because Jesus gave us that message. So I can't really tell Jesus, who created the universe, Jesus, sit down, let me take care of it from here. Can't do that. I don't have that arrogance. I'm not that stupid. And so I came back to California after working in parishes and schools and probably, almost 18 years as a priest. I've been a priest now almost 26 years. And so I founded Catholic Media Missionaries in the summer of 19, got officially approved in 2020, just before COVID hit the fan. And so I have a TV series called The Hound of Heaven, which comes from the 1890 poem from Francis Thompson. He wrote the poem after he had a conversion experience and kind of a detoxing experience. He was a seminarian for the Catholic Church in England, left the seminary, became a druggie and a lot of ladies of the evenings. And so one of those ladies found him in the street, took him out of the street, kind of nursed him back to health, went to a monastery and wrote the greatest poem in English history. Oscar Wilde would said the same thing. So, I'm just quoting him actually. In fact, Francis Thompson influenced a guy named Tolkien, another guy named C.S. Lewis, and another guy named Oscar Wilde. So you might have heard of those authors, but maybe heard of. So he was the
tiny names.
I'm just throwing names at you. I'm just name dropping here. But he was like the influencer of the influencers. So with that said, I was listening to a talk, or somebody was giving some information about, did you ever hear about the Shoah Foundation Project? I go, what's that? Steven Spielberg had interviewed 55,000 Holocaust survivors back in the 90s, right after I think Schindler's List came out. And he interviewed every single one of them all over the world. And I go, wouldn't it be kind of a cool idea if we had like a spiritual heritage recorded of all these famous and notable Catholics globally, and have them tell their story as well? That was the idea that came to my head. Obviously nothing to take away from the Holocaust survivors, but just that was the thing that gave me the idea of interviewing famous and notable Catholics. So I have this TV show called The Hound to Heaven Show, which is actually on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel now, and I've interviewed various guests. The guys who did the movie Nefarious was my first interview. I've interviewed Joe Mantegna from the Criminal Minds TV series, which is on Paramount Plus 1. An original Mouseketeer. So right now we're in the process of trying to have Disney acquire that particular episodes. They want to have, so Walt Disney Studios wants to buy one of my shows, which is nice.
Wow.
So, and then the other one is we're going to be talking to Joe, and then hopefully we can get him to ask Paramount Plus to, license the interview we did with Joe Mantegna, which is one of my favorites as well. So I have a very eclectic list. So it's Chuck and Carrie, who did the movie Unplanned and Nefarious. A Power Ranger, Jessica Rae. A voiceover actor, Danny Jacobs, who got 2 Emmys doing King Julian from Madagascar TV series from Netflix and Nickelodeon. A stunt double, Brenda Lorena Garcia. She's like 4'8" on a good day with high heels. So she's a cute little thing. She's like the size of a pencil you can put in your pocket. And she's really, what's another interview? Joe Mantegna, Sherry Alberoni, the Mouseketeer. Vince Ferragamo was quarterback for the Rams. Let me see here.
Yeah.
Mike Sweeney, Trevor Williams pitches for the Nationals. Mike Sweeney was with the Royals. Bruno Serrato, and Mike Scioscia, who played with the Dodgers and coached the Angels to a World Series in 2002.
I know who that is.
Yeah. Let's see. And Vince Ferragamo. I think I got everybody on that's on the show. That's the first 12 episodes. Oh, Joe DiPenta won the Stanley Cup with the Ducks in 2007. So I got to wear a Stanley Cup ring. It was kind of fun. I had never seen one of those before World War I. So that's very eclectic. We're working on season 3 now. We're trying to get our list. I'll keep that as a secret for now because we want to make sure we get our the approval from the guests. But we're trying to go for big names on that next one. So that's a TV show. And then I have on my website cmm1.org, which is the acronym for Catholic Media Missionaries. My book. It was 8 years ago this month. I was on my 30-day silent retreat. And that was I did the big boy one. I did the Ignatius, shut your mouth, pray 5 hours a day one. And I loved it. And I wrote I just had notes from my experiences. And I find this, I thought women would find the book fascinating. But I've had more men come back to the church reading my book than women. I misjudged my demographics. I don't know.
Well, it's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing either which way. And
yes,
that kind of spirituality is always very, very helpful. Now, would it be proper to say you were the spiritual consultant for that film Nefarious? I think you were,
actually,
right?
I would not use the word spiritual consultant as much as I would say a theological consultant, but a priest on the set where I was blessing the set, saying masses, confessions, and so forth. And that still, we did that show. That was the spiritual. We could probably talk about it during the show. The stuff that happened on that was just ridiculous, man. Just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, before we get into that, maybe if you can kind of let the audience know for people that maybe maybe they've barely become Catholic, or they're Catholic and they don't know what spiritual warfare is. How would you define spiritual warfare? We know it's real; it's officially taught in the Catholic Church. How
Right.
would you define it, Father?
I would say spiritual warfare is the fight between heaven, Jesus, Mary, Joseph, all the angels and saints in heaven versus all the angels that fell, also known as demons, who freely chose to say, to hell with you, God. And God goes, no, 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 to hell with you. And then one third of those angels got kicked out of heaven because they freely chose not to serve God. And
Mm,
now Lucifer and Satan and Beelzebul and all these other ones freely chose to never serve God again. And unfortunately for them, they only get one choice in
all
heaven.
right.
And so they chose foolishly. They're not stupid. They just made a very foolish decision. And so they've been fighting us ever since. And when you watch the movie Nefarious, you get a glimpse of an idea of how their game plan is. And so I have a lot of respect for their intellect for sure. And I
Mm,
never have the arrogance to think that I know more than that my angels and my guardian angels, Michael, and all those guys can't see what they're trying to do behind the scenes because we can't see that. And
yeah.
so that's why we always ask for their help. But spiritual warfare is uh, heaven versus hell. And hell's trying to get you to hell, and heaven's trying to get you to heaven. The only problem is we have to choose it.
Mhm.
So if you freely choose not to want to go to heaven, you will not go to heaven.
Yeah.
Which is great because you have you can freely choose that now.
It's free
So
will. That's a great
it's free
point. I
will.
like you. Yeah, I like that you bring that up. And we're about to go to our first break. But before we go to our first break, I really want to emphasize that's a great point that Father brought up, that these angels, through their own free choice, rebelled against God. And nobody's going to say that they were dumb. These are angelic beings. They knew what they were doing. So, but again, we all have free choice. We have what we call free will in Catholicism. Is biblical, taught from the very beginning, and they rebelled on their own accord. That is a great way to leave a cliffhanger as we
Yes.
approach our first break. And of course, audience, I want to remind you all we'll be taking any and all of your questions, any and all of them, and we will be back from the break in just a moment. Alrighty. So the audience on YouTube can still see us and hear us, but we are on break on radio. Well, we're on like a 2 minute break. How's the weather over there, Father?
Unfortunately, it's really nice.
Oh,
I think it's like
what?
70. It's probably like 80, semi-dry. Um,
So jealous.
you should be.
I am.
I hate the policies, the politics of California, but I
Oh,
absolutely love the weather.
man, I'm gonna say, yeah. Every time I visit, I love the weather. This is great. And you've been to Texas. You know the Texas weather, so you don't
Ugh,
envy me at all. You
nope.
don't envy me at all with the weather,
No,
man.
even during the winter time, I'd rather be in Arizona than I would be in Texas, just because it's
Oh,
so dry in Arizona.
man. But hey, I've
Yeah.
had your California meat.
Ooh,
Cannot compare. I'm sorry, Father. Can't
no,
compare to Texas.
no,
No.
no, no. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Obviously there's our Mexican food. I think is better here. I
Hmm.
think, and I like.
Oh
There's
no.
some really good steak places here. There's some really good steak places there. I went to Del Frisco's or something like that. That was really
Ah,
good.
it's good
Um,
stuff.
but when I was in San Antonio in your area, back when I was a seminarian back in the mid to late 90s,
Hmm.
I loved the food there in Texas. I was
Mm.
never I was
Oh
Henry's Puppy Taco.
yeah. Yeah. We
And
got meat down. We got meat down.
yeah, you got the meat down for sure. There's
Yeah,
no.
we got the meat down.
But the funny thing is, the best ribs I ever had were in Dallas area.
Hmm.
I was so shocked because people say, oh, ribs are Memphis and briskets Texas.
Oh no.
So I
Oh
went
no.
to this.
Ribs are phenomenal here.
I was shocked because I was always told briskets Texas thing. So I went to this barbecue place up in the Dallas area, and I said, hey, and it was so funny. I was just walking in there. I said, okay, ribs or
Yeah.
brisket?
I think we're about to return.
Buying or selling your home or your business property? This is Terry Barber. Real Estate for Life underwrites the Terry and Jesse Show. And they can connect you to one of 900 pro-life real estate agents around the world. And when they receive their referral fee, they will give 80% of it to a pro-life organization. Wow, that's 80%. Realestateforlife.org, 877-LIFE-US1.
And we are back, audience. We're having a tremendous time talking with Father Merlino. We're talking any and all things spiritual warfare. And we left you off on a bit of a cliffhanger when Father was talking about how angels rebelled. And that is real. That is biblical. Church has taught that from the beginning. And I love how you pointed out they did it on their own free accord. That is also very, very Catholic teaching there as well. Let me ask you this, because you were talking about Nefarious. I love the movie. I love the movie. And I recommend if people haven't seen it, I recommend they get check it out. I love it. I'm still waiting for part 2, guys. Come on, directors, get on the ball, man. I'm waiting for part 2, man.
They need what everybody needs, money.
Yeah, man. It's got to be that. It's got to be the funding. I know that. But let me ask you this. In terms of spiritual warfare, I imagine you have quite a few stories to tell from that. So what happened? Was there any spiritual warfare activity that occurred? Because you were there on the set.
Gosh. Where to begin? I guess I'll just start from the beginning. It was 5 years ago this month, July. It was back in Nam. It was 72. There was bullets flying everywhere. Charlie was all over us when we were in rice paddies up to our knees. Oh, wrong story. Wrong story. Sorry, wrong story. So it was 5 years ago this month, and I fly out to Texas for pre-production for Nefarious. And this is 2021, so COVID is over-ish, but not over. So COVID hits the end of July, shuts us down. Like nobody can do anything. We're all just, I got it. Everybody got it. The whole crew got it. And everyone physically left Oklahoma and just went home. We had to shut the production down. So we're like, wow, the devil won this battle. So okay. So I go back to California, and then by about October, they're getting things moving again. So from August to like early August till middle of October was kind of shut down. So the sets were already built, they're already they're already there. And we start shooting in December the 1st. And so our main actor, Jordan Belfi, his son was born on December 1st while he's on the set. So his wife had somebody FaceTime, whatever they could FaceTime, but he was technically in the room. And so it was kind of a hard day for him, but he was also very professional. And we talked for a little bit about that, we're not close friends, but whenever we run into each other, we like to say hi. And he lives close by to where I live now. And so first day, things are going okay. We're at the actual prison that you'll see in the movie. Like the opening shot is an actual opening shot of the prison where we shot at some of the scenes. Well, apparently, I have a theory about this one. They might. I think part of it has to do with the first day, the first shoot. You don't want to screw up your first shoot day. So we get up at 4 a.m. So we have at 4 a.m. They say, Father, can we say mass first? So we say mass in the hotel room, and we get inside the director's truck, and it won't start. It just drove 10,000, thousands of feet, hundreds of miles from California to Oklahoma, and all of a sudden the truck just won't start at all. And we're like, oh, you got to be kidding. So we finally get the car. So we thought, it was kind of cold, but we knew it wasn't cold. We figured, we said St. Michael prayer, we're blessing the car, and it's still not. Finally get it going. We drive 2 miles, and then the car just dies. Just almost far enough away from the cell phone tower where we were staying. It was like a hotel in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. And so one of our producers had one bar. He says, hey, called up our production assistant. Said, hey, pick us up the truck. So we back the truck and we park it. So once we park the truck, the PA picks us up. We're only a couple miles from the site. We get there and we literally they had to get AAA to get over there. They just told the PA, take care of the truck. We're going to start working on the first day. So that was the first thing that happened. And then one of the things that was really funny is they come up to me and say, hey, Father, you'll see, I can tell you where it is. It's kind of in the beginning of the scene where the warden and the psychiatrist are walking down a hallway. That's not ruining the movie. So when they're walking down the hallway, that was a section of the prison that was either haunted or demons were there. So they come up to me and say, hey, Father, the warden said, okay, can you go over there and bless this section? Because it's closed down, but there's been a lot of activity over there. So I said, well, ghosts aren't really the problem, but if there's demons there, well, I'll do my prayers and holy water and salt and we'll just call it a day. So that's what I did. Well, apparently El Diablo was not done yet. So he starts stirring up among the crew dissatisfaction. And so that's Friday. It's Thursday, Friday. Wait, how did we do it? We shot Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday and Sunday we were off. So it was the first, second, and third. There was news that, hey, there might be a strike, but they couldn't figure out why. Because some of the crew weren't enough hotel rooms, so some of the crew had to share a room, which is, in ideal situation, crews should have their own room, but there weren't, and we're in the middle of nowhere, so it was hard to find enough rooms that was close by.
Yep.
So they were upset about that. The food was terrible. It was cold. The caterer, I'm Italian, so food is part of our breathing.
It's gotta be as an Italian.
So the breakfasts were cold. The food was okay. The caterer sucked. They were terrible. And so my brother and sister-in-law were kind of doing the craft services with the snack stuff. They were in charge of that, but not the catering. And then that food was terrible. We get back. We leave from Granite to Oklahoma City, which is like a 3-hour drive. Granite's west, Oklahoma's east. We get there. Monday comes. Boom. IATSE, the union for Hollywood, New York and LA, contacted the world via email. You are not to work on this film. Everybody who's working on this film, you are to leave immediately and not work on this film. So
wow.
So the whole crew left Monday. And so now we have no crew. You can't make a movie without a crew.
Right.
So we're scrambling everywhere. The IATSE's in New York, and they're telling Oklahoma people how to work. And so we're calling the Attorney General of Oklahoma. We're calling the IATSE, the lawyers. I mean, we're scrambling, trying to find people. That's Monday. Tuesday comes. This is what IATSE did. They told that, and this was all illegal. They went to court, and guess what? They were found. Chuck and Carrie were found not guilty of all counts. So everything IATSE did was completely illegal, because you have to have grievances. You have to have a piece of paper. There's a number. I think it's like what's page 13? Page 13 is all the grievances. There was nothing given. We're only 3 days into the shoot. So everyone's told, if you cross the line, you will lose your status in this union. And if you're not in the union, you will lose your status in the future if you want to join the union. So of course everyone says, well, I'm not going to lose my livelihood over these guys. So nobody came. And so luckily for us, and because I think this is where God sets in, the set director, Christian guy, smelled something in the air. He knew something was happening. He says, let me just work. Because we didn't like people working on Sundays. That was a taboo. But in this case, he said, you know what, we're almost done with the sets. Let us finish it. And they kind of let him do it because something was in the air and they can kind of smell it. So Tuesday comes, or whatever, again, lousy caterer for lunch on the movie set. This is like the main meal, right? Fritos, chili, and cheese for the main meal.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, seriously, am I 4 years old? What the heck is this? So my stomach's not doing too well. The next day, fish sticks with mashed potatoes. Like, all right. My brother and sister-in-law go, look, directors, please let us take care of the catering. We're from this area. We live in this area. We know where the good food is and where it's not. Let us take care of it. So the next day, breakfast was just 10,000 pounds of bacon and eggs, and it was just totally taken care of. So my stomach is not going well at all. I think I got food poisoning. Well, by Thursday, my stomach's not feeling, not doing great. Friday's not doing well. Saturday, I'm in a ton of pain. In the meantime, Monday through Thursday, they're still scrambling all over the country trying to find crew members who are willing to break the strike. And they did. We got a skeleton crew. It took them 4 days. Cameraman, you name it. We called every homeschooling mom and we could find, and who knew how to do movie stuff. And we had one guy who worked on a Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy movie, with Christian Bale. He worked as one of our cameramen for most of for the shoot. And I am not feeling good at all. And the funny thing, here's where God came in. So the Friday and Saturday where we shot our movie, we did almost 30 pages of shooting. If anybody who works in the industry will tell you, if you're lucky, you get 2 to 5 pages of script shot in a day if you're lucky. Sometimes in those really high budgeted Marvel movies, you'll spend all day for an eighth of a page. So it gives you so for us to do 30 pages, I remember Chuck Carey, like, I don't know what just happened. We just shot almost 30 pages of script in 2 days. We almost caught up the 4 days that we lost.
Wow. Praise the Lord.
So that's Saturday the 11th. And I am in uber pain. I go, let me just get back to our place. So I get back. I usually said mass late at night because sometimes it was just too early in the morning to have mass and then get over there. So Sunday comes and I am in unbelievable pain. My abdomen area is just killing me. I go, so I slept for like 12 hours. They went out to breakfast. I said mass around 1:30 in the afternoon. They took me to the ER, and sure enough, your appendix is going to burst.
Oh no.
So guess whose feast day it was? December 12th. Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Our Lady of Guadalupe, yep.
So
just a few days after the Immaculate Conception. Wow.
Right. So I'm like, okay, I guess. So they take me to the ER, then they take me to the other hospital.
Wow.
And so I'm in the hospital. They put me under. That's on a Sunday. Monday is December 13th. Now, whose feast day is December 13th?
December 13th, I don't know.
Okay, I'll tell you in a second. So this lady comes in my room after the operation, cleans my room, and walks away. December 13th. Her name is Lucille. That was the feast day of St. Lucy.
Wow.
I took a picture of it because nobody would have believed me.
All of it connected with Our Lady. Wow.
Yeah, Lucy and Lady, and oh my gosh. So I love Santa Lucia. She's one of my favorite saints. And so I'm getting goosebumps just even saying that because I just love them dearly. So the doctor comes in that evening. I thought you get your appendix out and you go home. That's what I was told. And the doctor goes, oh yeah, I had to keep you. The doctor wants to shoot.
Let's keep that. Let's keep that for a cliffhanger. We're about to hit a break. Audience, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. Amazing. Yeah, we're in a commercial break. Take your time, Father. We're in a commercial break anyway.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit for a second.
Yeah, no worries at all. Take your time. We're in a commercial break anyway. And when we return, I'll let you say that, and then we'll go to a few questions from the audience. I'll remind the audience, don't worry, we'll get to your questions, audience. And I'll remind you all, any and all support sent in goes 100% towards Father. So if you have any questions, please send them in. We'll be tackling them. We'll go in a moment. We'll begin with Broncos. I saw yours earlier, Bronca. I don't know if Bronca's awake. We'll tackle it. We definitely will. Yes, no, without a doubt. And I want to give you a thank you, AV brother. Thank you for your support. He began earlier by saying, may the precious blood cover you all, rendering all evil dumb, dead and blind. I pray this in the name of Jesus. Father, Son, Holy
Amen.
Spirit. Definitely. I mean, he's a fellow Italian.
Oh
He's a
shoot,
fellow
those are the
Italian of
worst.
yours.
Those are the worst,
Those
guys. Those Italians. I wouldn't trust Italian.
they're the best Catholics, man. From what I've heard, they're loyal.
They are, yeah. The Sicilians, especially, man. Those guys, they don't mess around.
They love their Catholic faith, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody that loves their Catholic faith, no doubt about it. Okay, hold on, let me see. I think we got about a minute and a half anyway.
Will report with the greatest astonishment that those that had the most to lose did the least to prevent it from happening. Well, I think it's high time now that we ask ourselves if we still even know the freedoms that were intended for us by our founding fathers. Every generation of Americans needs to know that freedom exists, not to do what you like, but having the right to do what you ought. You weren't made to fit in, my brothers and sisters. You are born to stand out. Set yourself apart from this corrupt generation. Be saints. God bless you.
Buying or selling your home or your business property? This is Terry Barber. Real Estate for Life underwrites the Terry and Jesse Show, and they can connect you to one of 900 pro-life real estate agents around the world. And when they receive their referral fee, they will give 80% of it to a pro-life organization. Wow, that's 80%. realestateforlife.org, 877-LIFE-US1.
And we are back on the air, audience. We're having a tremendous time, a great time. We're talking with Father Merlino, and you had quite the event there you were talking about. Yeah, pick up where you left off on St. Lucy's feast day. I did not remember that was the day. That's her feast day. Go ahead, Father.
So I lost my appendix not while shooting the movie Nefarious, but during that Sunday after the day of rest, supposedly rest. So the doctor comes in that night, and I'm all hooked up with all kinds of stuff. I'm bloated, and I'm just like, what's going on here? And the doctor comes in that night and says to me, Father, when I cut your appendix, or I put the knife to the appendix, it literally blew up in your body. Wow. And he said, you went septic, and luckily for you, I was in there. Everything was already, because he goes, I don't know if you had 10 minutes or an hour, but your appendix was going to blow up, period, end of story. And so that's why you're here for another, I had like 48 hours of antibiotics. And I said, okay. So I almost died, didn't even know it. Wow. So our Blessed Mother had my back big time. Oh, yeah. And my guardian angel. And then St. Lucy, which is, which I was totally shocked by, comes in and cleans my room, which is cute. So I called up the director and said, hey, this is where we're at. I go, so Monday and Tuesday, I was off the set. And so Wednesday was my first day, which is December 15th. So I told the directors, I can't lift anything for a few weeks. I can do all my scenes that you have, because I played the prison guard in the movie towards the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And so my scenes were coming up. So they said, no problem. We'll have you come in on Wednesday. I said, besides, there's a scene in there where there's a beating of the prisoner, and they didn't want me, the priest, to be beating them anyway. So that worked out fine. They just said, Father, we know that you're acting, but still, we just thought it'd be weird for a priest beating somebody. So we just figured we wouldn't have you do it. It's okay. That's fine. So when you watch the movie and you see me, you're like, what's he doing? And that's why, because they just said, well, we have to have you do something in the scene and run out. So we'll figure that out. Just pretend you're doing loosening of the cuff and then run out of the scene. So when you watch me, you're like, when you look at me, it's like, I don't make any sense whatsoever. But that's why. But with all the activity, you kind of lose that. If I don't tell you that, you don't even pay attention to it. So
sure.
So here's the December 15th. I'll never forget that day. In the movie, they talk about there's a section there where the devils are talking about the main thrust of their their whole mission, the dark gospel. I mean, this is like one of the main crux conversations. On that day where we're exposing the devil's mission, the same day we're exposing that on camera, Oklahoma has their worst sustained windstorm in their history on that day. Every time we would say action, the wind would go ballistic, and you could hear the metal on the roof in a concrete basketball arena. Arena. You could hear the wind bending the metal like the Titanic is splitting. And then they would say cut, and then the wind would stop. Action. Wind would go. Cut. Wind would stop. So the sound is getting effective. If you learn anything about filmmaking, sound is the number one priority. Visuals number two. Sure. The sound is everything in filmmaking. You can have bad video, but you can't have bad sound. Nobody will watch a bad sound film. They'll watch a bad video film, but not a bad sound film. Yeah, so throughout, we're talking 12 hours. Action, wind, cut, stopped. Action, wind, cut, stopped for 12 hours on cue. And we're just like, what in the purgatory is going on here? So, meantime, we finally end. Okay, that's a wrap. It's 10 o'clock at night. We drive back to our rental Airbnb. We walk into the house. We come in from the garage because that's the way you come in for that house. As I walked in, the kitchen's on my left, and then you have the TV room, place for mass on my right. I walk in. Now, mind you, this is December. So Chuck and Carrie had decided to decorate the house like Christmas. So we had a Christmas tree, poinsettias, Jesus and Mary, candles with Mary, Rudolph, Frosty, all decorative, peace, everything, all beautifully decorated. I walk in, and the first thing I say is, "You guys, we've been robbed."
Oh.
I go, "Wait a minute, nope, we're not robbed. The TV's still here, so I know we're not robbed." Some entity, either a demon or a squirrel, came in through the chimney, opened up the glass door in front of the chimney, went up to the mantle of the chimney and threw the picture of Jesus to the ground and broke it. The candle of Mary to the ground, didn't break it, it was just thrown to the ground. The word peace was thrown to the ground. Rudolph and Frosty weren't touched. Poinsettias thrown on the ground. The wreath that was behind my back at the door where I was saying mass, thrown to the ground. It was complete chaos on the floor, demonically weird. And like, how did a squirrel open up that glass door? He had to be a very strong squirrel, but apparently he did, or the devils opened it up. And then I go to my altar. I look down on my corporal, and the squirrel urinated on and defecated on the corporal where I was saying mass.
Wow.
So the upper right and the lower left were urinated on, and the exact spot where I put the patent for the mass, I mean, precision like no other buddy's business. Where the patent usually goes, the entity, the squirrel defecated on the exact spot where I say mass. So I talked to an exorcist friend of mine. He goes, "Yeah, the demons were pissed, and they just wanted to show you." That day when we were exposing them, and that was such a shock to us. I go, "I can't believe what I'm just seeing here." So I got rid of. I had to wash that, and then bless it and all that kind of stuff, and bring out another corporal. But the demons were so mad that day on December 15th that they caused that windstorm to screw up the sound. They were going to lose another day. And they were so afraid that sound was all ruined, but they just shot anyways. They go, "We're hoping in post-production we can get rid of the sound when you watch the movie." They actually, in one of the spots, they actually used the sound for their advantage. So
Wow.
We got blessed. God took care of that problem in post-production. But the demons on that day were so upset. They threw everything on the ground. They took Mary's picture candle and Jesus thing, broke it, and the word peace and I guess sacrilege the altar where I was saying mass, even though it was on a cardboard on a card table. They were really, really upset. To this day, we're all still like shocked, like, wow, the devils were really upset that day. And then from there on, it got a little bit easier, a lot of slowing down. Oh my gosh, it took forever. Before that even happened during this time last 5 years ago when we were getting pre-production, we had cars totaled. We had a total of 8 cars from producers, totally trashed. We lost 8 cars. We had one producer almost ran over by a car. I almost got killed with my appendix. The other guys who got COVID almost died. They had pneumonia and were out for 2 weeks straight. I was the only one healthy enough to buy dinner and keep us alive for 2 weeks. But we got the movie made, and God really, really tested us because, if you really pay attention, for those who make movies, you have to really, really pay attention. Our editor was amazing, guys. Brian Smith, I think his name. He really saved the film. Because there was not a lot of footage there. It's called coverage. We didn't have a lot of coverage because we were running out of time. We lost 4 days of shooting. So that execution scene was really done great. They used everything they could. Even afterwards, my gosh, I can't tell you, the day the movie came out 3 years ago in Hollywood, you might have 1, 2, possibly 3 movies would come out the same weekend. Maybe that weekend just happened to be The Pope's Exorcist, this Dracula movie, and Nefarious, and 3 other movies all came out at the same. 6 movies came out in the same week. Is that a coincidence? I think not. Because as soon as Chuck and Carrie picked the date, April 14th weekend, the Divine Mercy weekend in 2023, as soon as they made the decision, that's the date's coming out. Guess what? The demon's like, well, guess what? We still own Hollywood, so we're going to do this to you. We're going to drown you. And they drowned them out. That's why they didn't make as much money as they should have. It was just, there's no way that movie shouldn't have made $100 million. There's no way.
I agree. That was a fantastic film. It really was. And I want to thank people for everybody's support. By the way, I remind you all support today goes towards Father's ministry. And the Puck Chucker, thank you. He says, special thanks, Father Darren. God bless. Puck Chucker, thank you for your support.
Thanks,
and
Chuck.
Raphael Brand says, to Father Darren, God bless you. May Jesus always be on your side. Thank you for your support, my friend. And the incredible Gary 2.0, gifted a membership. Thank you for your support. And I wanted to grab this one earlier. We saw this one earlier from the Brother Bronca, playing devil's advocate. Is it true, Father, that as Catholics, we look in the book of Tobit, there are sticks turning into snakes, rocks breaking the earth, and we believe that the bread and wine turn into flesh? Is that just wizardry and spells? How do we answer that, Father?
Well, I remember with Moses, the Lord told him, throw the stick on the ground just to show them that God is an awesome God, right? And the demons did the same thing. So, oh, jeez.
Oh, my bad. That break stuck up on me as well.
Oh, wow.
We'll be back, audience, on the other side of the break. That break right there always sneaks up on me. Audience, we'll be back on the other side of the break. We got about 2.5 minutes. I don't know if you want to sit down, Father. Get a little bit of.
I can hear you when you talk. So.
All right. Yeah. No worries at all. that break always sneaks up even on me.
Because I do the Quest radio show, which I'll be doing this afternoon in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Guadalupe Radio.
Call Quest. I got to look into that. Never heard of that.
Yeah, we're at 2:00 my time, which is what, 4 yours. So
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
2:00.
Yeah. Pacific Standard.
Yeah, it's an hour. Yeah. So, anyways, to make a long story longer, we have the tech board guy. He puts up signs, says 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Gotcha.
So we know when that's going to happen. So there's no way for me to even know what time we're supposed to make breaks. Even though you sent me the time, I have no clue when that is.
Yeah, that is totally my fault anyway. And then, to be honest with you, Father, funny enough that even when I'm here on my show alone, that break will sneak up on me sometimes. So there's no worries at all. It always, when you're having a good time and you're having a lot of fun dialoguing, those breaks will sneak up on you. Well, we've gotten some good questions, and I want to thank the audience. Audience, thank you for your support. 100% of your support goes towards Father. You all have been very generous. Thank you. Any questions you send in, your support will go towards Father. See how long we have before the break is over.
Shout out my praise. I'm just so appreciative. It just really helps me, and I know people want to hear this. It inspires me to want to speak it, and it inspires me to even go as far as discerning the priesthood to think I should speak this. We need to stand up for our beautiful faith. This is this unsugar-coated beauty, and this is just what I've seen on the Terry and Jesse show. I encourage listeners to start donating and support this cause. It has just really impacted my life, and I just want to give it some praise to it.
Buying or selling your home or your business property? This is Terry Barber. Real Estate for Life underwrites the Terry and Jesse Show, and they can connect you to one of 900 pro-life real estate agents around the world. And when they receive their referral fee, they will give 80% of it to a pro-life organization. Wow, that's 80%. realestateforlife.org, 877-LIFE-US1.
And we are back, audience, and it was my fault. That break snuck up on me. Father, you were talking about Moses, the staff, and more.
Okay.
Yes, dive in, Father.
All right, so rocks breaking in the earth. So the bread and wine is a different animal because besides Melchizedek, which was an offering to Abraham, at the Passover, you have bread, wine, herbs and spices, and lamb and bread and wine, all kind of stuff. So when Jesus established the covenant, and he says, you have to eat my flesh and drink my blood, which he's referring to the Eucharist, which is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of actually Jesus Christ himself, though it looks like bread and it tastes like wine. So that actually does not change into actual human flesh or actual human blood unless you start studying the Eucharistic miracles in the Catholic Church, and we have various miracles that talk about bread turning into human flesh right in front of the priest's eyes. Yeah. The most famous is Lanciano, Italy. I've been there twice. Wow! You can actually see the piece of flesh that it's still what was that 1,400 years old almost. Yeah. And it's still physically there. It hasn't deteriorated. And the wine turned into actual human blood has 5 nuggets of coagulated blood. And when they tested the blood, it was as if it was just shed like a minute ago. And for those who give blood will tell you that, and those who work with blood will tell you that you have to refrigerate blood immediately once it's donated so that the properties of blood will not deteriorate in 15 minutes. So here we are 1,400 years later, and the blood that was at that mass is still as if Jesus had just shed it like 2 seconds ago. And so what's interesting is they took those 5 nuggets and they were separated. They weighed them. You put 1 here, 4 here, equal weight. 2 here, 3 here, they switched it around, still equal weight. The weight was equal. When they tested the heart, they go, oh, when they tested the flesh, it was a muscle from the heart. I forgot which side. I think it's like the left ventricle. And then when they tested the body, the blood type of the Eucharistic miracle, the blood type, it's not O negative, universal donor. You think, oh, Jesus is the universal donor. No, he's AB, the universal receiver. So Jesus receives everybody. All the Eucharistic miracles throughout the whole world are all AB blood type, all of them. And the flesh is usually from the heart. when the Eucharist turns into it. So the Eucharist is a easier way. The bread and wine is an easier way to eat Jesus' flesh and drink his blood. Sounds very cannibalistic, but it's not, because we're not eating actual human flesh. We're not drinking actual human blood. We're drinking and eating things that taste like bread and taste like wine, but are not. Now, if you put it under a microscope, yeah, it'll probably show the same properties. The weird thing, though, once it's consecrated by a priest and says, "This is my body and this is my blood," there are so many unreported miracles I've actually seen. Yeah. I know one couple in a parish here in LA. Somebody dropped 2 hosts on the floor. They went by, they took a purificator, wiped up the floor. They took a picture of it and showed it to me. It was as if the host had put a dent in the cloth. It was a 3D picture.
Wow.
It looked, I'm like, wow. I was shocked. They flipped out when they saw that on the picture. They're like, wait a minute. It looks like there's bread under this cloth, but there isn't. It was just flat floor. And so I was like, I saw that. So there's obviously hosts that were dropped and still around in Siena since the 1200s or something like that. Or so there's all kinds of these miracles. So when the spells and wizardry of all in Tobit 6, yeah, the demons can make things look like that. In fact, you talked to, I think it was Father Gabriel Amorth. He had a whole canister box of all the stuff that people had in them, like nails and all kinds of weird stuff that were cursed and were put to people, but they threw them out. They threw them up, and they came out of the person's mouths, and like all this weird stuff. Like how did it get in there? Well, the demons put it in there. So that's part of that. So the Eucharist is not.
It's not wizardry. No, it's not at all.
It's not at all.
Now, this is very unique. Rosarium, God bless you. Thank you for your support. Rosarium says,
thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Faithful. Thank you. Your support goes towards Father's ministry. So thank you for your support today, Faithful. Rosarium wanted to know, he said, I found out about the Acton Vale poltergeist. The narrator made it sound like crucifixes were left alone while icons and statues of Our Lady were floating and thrown around. Why would that be? Have you ever heard of that? Or something similar? Maybe you've heard of something similar.
I think I remember hearing, because I'm not an official exorcist anywhere, so I've been trained, but not like Father Chad Rippinger, who's PhD level. I may be high school level, but they. I've heard stories of crucifixes being thrown off, people levitating, statues being flown across the room. Those things do happen. Those are very obviously rare cases.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are it's not common, but does happen. And the problem with each case, and they'll tell you, exorcists will tell you, because each demon is its own species. So because it's its own species, it always has something unique about their problems they cause. There'll be a lot of things that are the same. Like you and I, William, we're both humans, so we have that in common. But our DNA and our personalities are different too at the same time. It's like, so that's why you can never be an expert in exorcism, because every demon is different and the same.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt. Now, I heard of something similar to that, and I've always wondered, but yeah, you're right. I mean, they're all different. They're different spirits. We know that. They're fallen angels. We know that.
Yes.
So they act differently. But I had heard of that, but I've always wondered. That's a good question. Why would the crucifixes be left alone? That's a good question.
I'm not sure what you mean by left alone. Because sometimes if you leave, sometimes exorcists
maybe they didn't begin to float. Maybe I think he means only the icons and statues floated, and nothing happened to the crucifixes. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
It could be that they were attached to the wall. Maybe could have been that.
Yeah, those guys, if they could pick somebody like me, 6'4", 280 pounds, and throw me across the room, they can do anything.
Then I don't know. Then.
Yeah, you know what? I think you got to remember too, at these when things like this happen, God only allows them to do what they are allowed to do.
True.
And why He lets certain things happen, and some things you'll never figure that out. Forget it.
Yeah. There's no way to ever. Yeah, that's a good one. I guess we can. The only thing that we can really do is just to, I guess, imagine why. How that Yeah, it could happen. I want to give a shout out to earlier the tremendous brother James Tay sent in
Thanks.
this support. God bless you, my friend. He says, Laudetur Jesus Christus. May the Lord give you peace. He went to sleep earlier, though, but he left some support. We thank you for your support. He says, Happy feast day of the Chinese martyrs, St. Augustine Zhao Rong, and his companions. God bless you,
Right.
brother.
Thanks.
Yes, definitely. Yes, thank you. Happy feast day. We love your image there. Is that I'm gonna guess that is the archangels Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. Yeah,
It looks like it. Yes.
I think so. Yeah, and of course somebody that may know better may correct me. But we got about 3 minutes
Sure.
on the air here in radio, and I want to give you a chance, Father, to put in a plug. Where can people find you? Where can people find the work that you do and everything you do? Yeah, put in a plug. Right now is your time. Plug
Okay.
in your stuff.
So please go to Hound of Heaven Show. Got to use the word show to find us, and you'll see 6 episodes. Please subscribe. We need to make we need to make some we need more revenue like everybody else so that we can make more shows, and we want to interview more famous and notable Catholics globally. Second is our website is CMM, that's Catholic Media Missionaries, CMM, that's Charlie Mary, the number 1.org. You can find my book there. My book is 30 Days Unplugged, How a Catholic Priest Turned Off His iPhone and Took a Call from God. That's my writing. I wrote it during COVID because I had nothing else to do. All the churches were shut down. I was told to sit down, shut up, and enjoy COVID when I was a priest. I had no choice in the matter. The bishop said, don't do anything. So I just did local stuff at my mom's house. And then if you want to do a 30-day silent retreat, I give you the whole book gives you the opportunity to do your own 30-day retreat. So you're not going to be able to pay for it. So look, I give you the readings. I give you all the scriptures. I give you some of the insights that happened to me. They're very unique, a lot of them. And I have artists from all over the world creating illustrations of text that I told them to create. So I got 8-year-olds every decade from 1 to 10, all the way up to 70 to 80. I mean, every decade in between. There's a person who's of different ages, former students, friends, acquaintances, people I haven't even met. Some people I know. One person's already died. So I've got all kinds of. And the one thing they always say is the artwork in your book, Father, is really good. Where'd you get that idea? I go, I don't know. Just God gave me the idea of getting artwork done. And so if you really want to do a 30-day silent retreat, I strongly recommend you get the book because it gives you an opportunity to go deeper into scriptures. And I'll tell you, my life has changed because of that 30-day experience. And then also our Hound of Heaven show, if you really want to help us out monthly, because if you help us out financially, it costs us about $50,000 per episode to get the guests, to put post-production, to promote it, to pay for the cameraman and the editing and the sound mix, because we have to try to create a show that's Emmy quality that can be broadcast on a regular television. So we have to use a little bit more expensive cameras and all kinds of stuff. And that's from beginning to end, 50 grand. It sounds like a lot, but I'll tell you right now, the coffee bill on a Marvel movie is almost $400,000 just for the coffee alone. And so I'm telling you right now, 50 grand is probably about 10 minutes on a Marvel movie set. Just to give you an idea, every movie costs whatever millions it costs. So let's say it's $6 million for like unplanned. It was $6 a second being used, whether you're eating dinner or shooting the film. It's costing the movies $6 per second. So anyways, go to Catholic Media Missionaries, CMM1.org. Please donate monthly for our show so we can interview more famous and notable Catholics. Go to Hound of Heaven show on YouTube. Please subscribe and please spread the word so we can spread this good news to people all over the world.
Wonderful, Father. Wonderful. And we will definitely have to bring you on again in the future. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bless you, everybody.
Saint Faustina's Prayer for Priests. O my Jesus, I beg thee on behalf of the whole Church, grant it love and the light of thy Spirit, and give power to the words of priests, so that hardened hearts might be brought to repentance and return to thee, O Lord. Lord, give us holy priests. Thou thyself maintain them in holiness. O divine and great high priest, may the power of thy mercy accompany them everywhere, and protect them from the devil's traps and snares, which are continually being set for the souls of priests. May the power of thy mercy, O Lord, shatter and bring to naught all that might tarnish the sanctity of priests. For thou canst do all things. Amen. Virgin most powerful, pray for us.
All righty, we're off the air now. We'll continue half an hour, at least half an hour here. I saw a question that came in earlier. Can't find it right now, but it was from Ari. I'll go ahead and now from what I remember what she said. And audience, I'll remind you all, now is your time to send in any questions you have. Father will be here a little bit longer. We thank him a ton. And Ari had asked earlier if invoking the great Saint Joseph and or Saint Michael, does that help during spiritual warfare?
Yes, I know there's a Saint Joseph Terror of Demons prayer and Saint Michael prayer. Michael, I know he's number 8 of 9 of the choirs of angels. I think guardian angels are the lowest angel in the 9 choirs, and I think Lucifer is a seraphim. And so, God used one of the lowest hierarched angel, the archangel, to defeat the highest angel. So I always say the expression, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's kind of like what happened with Michael to Lucifer and company. So because God is a free choice God, to me, I always jokingly say that's God's biggest mistake, is giving us too much free will. But I'm glad he does. But that's because who wants to be forced to love somebody? So I totally get that. So when you freely choose to have Saint Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle, and also Saint Joseph to protect us from the evil ones, it's those guys were given a special task in heaven to protect us from the evil ones. Now, obviously, the Blessed Mother is par excellence.
Oh yeah.
I wish we had an opportunity to talk about this one a little bit. I totally forgot about it just now, but the Blessed Mother.
Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So the Blessed Mother, what's interesting about her, not only is she just the mother on the greatest mother ever on steroids, she also represents what to the demons? You know what the answer is? She is.
I don't know.
The Blessed Mother is their greatest. The Blessed Mother represents the demons' greatest failure. They couldn't get her to sin.
That's right. Yeah.
She had no original sin, but she couldn't even sin. So gosh, she represents, we couldn't get her. Yeah, William and Father Dan, we already got them to sin. That's not a problem. But we couldn't get her. And for all eternity, they have to realize that she can never sin, and you never got to her, pal. Yeah. And God gave her special authority over the evil ones, and they hate her more than they hate Jesus.
Oh man, they cannot stand her. And I'm guessing because they know that she is a creature the way they are, the greatest of God's creation, and with her free will, she said, "Let it be done to me according to thy word." And with their free will, they said no. They were going to rebel and disobey the Lord. So I guess that would be probably a big reason why they hate her. Now, in terms of Saint Joseph, I guess because he's a terror of demons, he's the guardian of the Holy Family. They must have a special hatred for him as well, I imagine.
I would assume so. We don't hear too much about that, but
okay.
I can tell you when I was trained as an exorcist, that wasn't talked about like a lot, because we always knew the most powerful was the Blessed Mother.
Sure.
And your guardian angel obviously sees the demons around me and you. Mm-hmm. Our guardian angel is obviously listening to us right now. They know what's going on. That's why it's always good to ask them and follow their lead. Start listening to your conscience. If it's something, they unfortunately can't force you either. They can protect you from being stupid. I have a doctor friend of mine. He goes, "You can't cure stupid, but you can sedate it." So sometimes you wish you could sedate some of these people. Like, just stop talking, stop doing whatever you're doing, just stop. But you can't force people, and that's the hard part. So, St. Joseph, use them. I mean, why not go to a fight where you have all your arsenal? Doesn't make any sense. And if the evil ones are way more powerful than you, anyways, physically speaking and intellectually. So you might as well let them do let the holy ones do their job, and you just do your job.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. Controversial question.
Yep.
St. Joseph or St. John the Baptist?
Meaning,
who do you think is who do you prefer as spiritual intercessor?
I have to choose.
You got to choose. I'm putting you in the spot.
If you're asking me to choose, I take Joseph.
Okay.
If you're asking me to choose.
All right.
But thank God I don't have to choose. But if you have to choose, okay, Joey. I'll take Joey.
All right.
And then Johnny Boy would be obviously, that guy. Funny thing is that he lost his life because of a teaching on marriage. Not because of Jesus.
Greatest of the prophets, though. It's tough to.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Joseph protected the Holy Family, so that's why he said, you know what? He was around Jesus and Mary for a long time, for how many years that was. No one ever says, when did Joseph die?
Right.
A friend of mine, one of the directors had said this on Nefarious. He said, I think the reason why Joseph had to be dead before Jesus' ministry, because if Joseph had seen his son being crucified and beaten and all that kind of stuff, he would have ran towards the Roman soldiers to defend his son and probably would have been killed. And so
there's no doubt about that. He would not have allowed that kind. No. I would have imagined that he wouldn't have allowed that kind of treatment. It would have been, So in God's providence, he was no longer around. Patron saint of a peaceful death, as they say. No doubt about that. But I know we got some people here that love St. John the Baptist, and they'll definitely go with him. It's tough in your trained field, since you said that you don't hear a lot about St. Joseph. It's mainly Mother Mary in terms of invoking. So then I guess in terms of invoking, St. John the Baptist would probably play an important role as well. Have you ever heard that?
I actually have not. But
you haven't?
Again,
okay.
So, but that doesn't mean, because I'm not on the what they call the battlefield of exorcisms, but I could, just from my very limited experience, I bet you we were to talk to other exorcists. They go, I talk to Joey and Johnny all the time.
Right. Yeah.
And I got to bring in Mikey and Joey and Mary and the guardian angels and
kind of like on a personal level, man.
Yeah. Well, what's
that.
funny, when you listen to exorcists talk during exorcism, how like you and I will talk, hey, Mary, can I see your face? Can I talk to you? And she's like, quiet. You start doing an exorcism, they'll show up. They're like there physically in the room.
Yeah.
Somehow. And they're like, I'll take care of this for you. I always find that the exorcism, the formal exorcism, really fascinating on how the Jesus, Mary, and the saints and the angels show up physically in the room and work with you. I find that very, very comforting. Like, you know what, your rest of your life, you're on your own kind of thing. We're in the background, but when you're doing an exorcism, they're like, okay, what do you need? Okay, what do you got? What do you got? I'll take care of this for you. Okay, I'll do this. And when the demons are forced to tell the truth about the Blessed Mother, they just hate it with a passion. I've heard one exorcist talking about he was the beauty of the rosary, and the beauty of and the demon was so pissed. He was like he was upset that he had to tell the truth. He hated to tell. He was so bad that he had to tell the truth about the beauty of the rosary. And the exorcism, he was a guy who was a priest in training, and the exorcist in Rome, I think it was listening to him, and he was like, and the demon's like, I don't want to talk about this, but Jesus is forcing me. So there's a lot of stories like that too.
Wow. That really is tremendous. By the way, we want to give a thank you to Liz. Liz, God bless you.
Thank you,
for your support. Thank you, Liz. Yes. And I want to remind you all of your support goes towards Father's ministry today. So thank you so much. Liz says, I was listening while on a walk and jumped some rope Amazing show. Thank you so much, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Amazing show. Just hearing about the spiritual warfare you all went through on the set as well. Now, let me just ask you,
Mhm.
just curious, do you think a part two will happen, or is it unlikely?
Well, because I have insider information,
There you
the answer
go.
is money, show. No
Yeah.
money, no show. Yes, they already have an idea. I can only tell you that. There's a
Okay.
sequel. There's a sequel, possibly TV show. Anybody actually knows some millionaires who want to make this either TV series or a sequel? Contact you and me, and then we'll get it to the right people.
Yeah, no doubt, especially because that would be a good show. I'd
Well,
take that. I'd watch that.
oh yeah. Everything's about finances. If we could teach Catholics
Yep.
to be, if we could have, if I could make Catholic media missionaries like Angel Studios, we would
Mm.
just be going bonkers.
Wow. Yeah, they get a lot
Because
of support.
if I can get 20 to 30 million dollars a year minimum, we can make movies and TV shows, and we can make stuff that's really entertaining and educational and life changing and cultural changing.
Yep.
I always say you can change the culture one show at a time, one movie at a time, one interview at a time. It's just little by little, and we get
Yeah.
the way the devil's worked in destroying in our morals from the 60s until now. They have to do the opposite, but luckily for us, we can fast forward it. But it just takes finances. So
Yep.
Catholic Media Missionaries, we're there to support. No egos here. My life is short, man. I'm already in my 60s. I already got maybe 20, 30 years left. So,
Hey, man, you don't look like you're in your 60s, Father. I tell you that.
no, I know I feel like I'm 100, but anyways, but I mean, the thing is this, we know that we're in Act 3 I'm in Act 3 of my life. That's a fact. Can't change that. So, like Clint Eastwood, 95 years old, still making movies.
Wow.
That's what I want to do.
Man.
And his movies are great. They're very thought provoking, most of them. And so we know that we can change people's lives and make content that's very educational, like this movie that came out, Young Washington, about George Washington. Great movie. I just saw it. Very PG-13 friendly. It's not gory, but you see the fighting. It's World War. It's Civil War stuff. So you see people die, but you don't see it up close. You don't see arms being chopped off or heads being sliced, which unnecessary. But that happened, but you don't need to see it.
So with that in mind, perhaps a very controversial question, and I always like asking it. With that in mind, and I want to remind the audience, if y'all have any questions, send in whatever you have on your mind.
Mhm.
Horror movies like The Evil Dead or films that glorify gore, are they bad?
I personally think they're not good for the soul.
Okay.
Now, I've seen some horror films, for example, Undertone.
Mm.
Very Alfred Hitchcockian style. All sound, very little gore, very little. Very like a couple of shots here and there, like, ooh, didn't need to show that, but okay, I'll get through it. Then there's some movies like, oh my gosh, can you just stop with the blood coming everywhere? And a lot of the movies now, and Exorcist will tell you that the devils were trying to be quiet. Now they're like, hey, here we are. We're here to take over. And so these movies like him, the football player, you see, there's another one, Ready or Not, Part 2 or something like that. They show a lot of satanic symbols, but I call it Satanism light, because they're showing you a little sliver. They're showing you the evil of Satanism and satanic worship, but not really showing you the dark side, because you can't handle it. You can't watch it. So they might be our movies, but they're just giving you I'm using the word taste as on purpose, a little taste of what it really actually happened. So here's the funny part. I belong to an organization here in California. It's clandestine. Only certain people are allowed to come into it. You have to be a certain type of you have to be very conservative to belong to it. And so at any rate, there's a lot of Catholics in this group. Protestants, Catholics, Jews, atheists, they're all politically conservative. And one of the guys says to me, he was Catholic. He goes, Father, you know that horror is the last Catholic genre left in filmmaking? I go, what do you mean by that? Because think about it. You have an evil and you have a good. and they're
Yeah.
fighting each other, and the good fights against the evil. And I go,
Right.
yes, that's very good. So you can make good horror,
Sure.
but you have to think of the 50s and 60s with a fascinating story. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I think that horror is in itself not evil, but it does show you the difference between good and evil. So if it's done well, like I saw Insidious and I saw Conjuring, I know those are Catholic themed movies. So those are very fascinating. I'll watch exorcism movies. I didn't see The Pope's Exorcist yet. I didn't.
Mm.
I mean, it was about Father with Russell Crowe. It came out the same time as Nefarious.
Right.
So I'll watch most exorcism movies to see how the theology is. That's what makes Nefarious classic. You got to go on Amazon Prime, folks, and watch it if you haven't seen it yet. I'm in the last 20 minutes. So
Is it there on Amazon Prime now?
Yeah, it should be. Check it out. It should be there now. I'm pretty sure of it.
You see, yeah. Okay. So it is. Yeah, it is there on Amazon Prime.
Let me see. Yeah.
Very cool. So if you have not yet seen Nefarious, which by the way, I really, really like Nefarious. I've seen it a number of times. I've even I remember when it first came out, the creators got me a screener copy that I was able to show there at my parish. And boy, did people really love that. They really, really enjoyed that. So I recommend people do watch that. Do you think a really, really bad, very scary horror movie that has all these kinds of demonic symbols, maybe satanic symbols, is it possible for a horror movie to open doors, if you will, if it's filled with that kind of imagery? Does that exist?
I haven't. So Amorth says something interesting in one of his books, that one girl that he was dealing with the case was singing the lyrics to some song. He clearly didn't tell us the song because he didn't want anybody else to know what it was. She got possessed singing that particular song.
Yeah.
I could say that if you watch certain movies, they're going to definitely disturb your soul. Will you get possessed? I don't think so. And if you're in the state of grace, or even if you're in mortal sin, it's I don't know. That's a tough call. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think it's very common. It's good. I belong to AMC A-list movie, so I'm able to see movies for $3, $2 a movie. 16 movies.
That's nice.
16 movies a month. I mean, that's and that's just super cheap. I mean, that's just not.
That's great.
So I don't do a lot of horror. I did see like Back Room because I was told it was a really unique horror film, and it was more like scary, weird. Only towards the end did it get really bad, but I love this. It was very suspenseful. Like, well, what's behind that? What's behind that wall? The set there. It was really done well. So.
Now, I want to give a shout out to AB. AB, thank you for your support, brother. AB, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. And he's a fellow Italian. Right there.
Oh my gosh. I'll pray for you, AB.
And everybody, we thank you so much for your support. 100% of your support goes towards Father's ministry today. Is this true? Do you agree, Father? AB says Nefarious is the only realistic movie that focuses on exorcism. I have heard the same. Can you think of others? I think Nefarious is, it's pretty really
I would say, I don't want to say it focuses on exorcism, but I would say that it's a great exposure of the devil's plans.
Or maybe the most accurate.
I think it's probably the most accurate description of how the demons really are.
There you go.
Yeah.
He might have meant that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I get what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
Paisan, don't worry about it. I understand what you're saying. So I think that when you watch it, you have to remember what Screw Tape Letters from C.S. Lewis's book is about. So there's a lot of people who've never heard of it or never read it, and so I always say
Screw Tape Letters. Nefarious.
Yeah. So when I describe Nefarious, I always say it's Screw Tape Letters meets Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
That's the best way to describe the film. And you go, well, what's Screw Tape Letters? We're gonna have to look into the history of that book. But basically, that book is written from C.S. Lewis. Yes, you're right. You're right. Absolutely, you're real. From Madrid. So the thing about because Screw Tape Letters is written from the perspective of a demon talking to an uncle to a nephew demon. Obviously, it's a metaphor, of course. And he's telling the younger demon, this is how we bring souls to hell. So he's explaining the method of the mission of the demons to bring souls to hell and what their techniques are. That's kind of how Nefarious is written. And then you have Hannibal Lecter, who was in the movie Silence of the Lambs with Anthony Hopkins. Brilliant acting. Oh my gosh, he got an Oscar for it.
Oh yeah,
totally deserved it. He was
without a doubt.
Well, God, so when you put those two together, when I tell people that's what it's like, oh, I got to see that film. Yeah, you need to see the film. I don't think I've ever seen a film where a priest will see it 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I've seen it 15 because just so your listeners know, I've been flown out all over the country to show the movie and then tell some of the stuff. I go into more detail about what really happened on the set when I give a Q&A. So it usually takes about 3 hours. There's a stipend, of course, and travels, but
Yeah.
So people, I've been to Texas and Arizona, all over California.
Where in Texas did you go?
Keller.
Okay, Keller, Texas. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a fundraiser at it. You buy the video, you charge whatever, and it helps pay for everything, and so that's what I do.
Yeah. So you've seen it a lot of times. So you know it in and out. You know it in and out. I mean, you were there on the set, so I mean, you got.
I could tell you what was going on here. I remember the acting was so good. I was talking to Chuck and Carey. I go, dude, this is like Oscar level stuff he's doing. Showing Patrick Flannery. This is really, really good acting, and he came really prepared. He knew those lines fast. That's why we were able to do almost 30 pages right after the strike, because he would just do his stuff. We almost 1, maybe 2 takes sometimes, and was it.
Yeah,
because he knew his stuff so well. He was so good. He
did a tremendous job. I mean, he did a great job there. I'll tell you that. And he's a tremendous actor as well. Yeah. So Ari is asking. She says, "Do you know demonic tongues? Those don't exist, do they?" I don't think so.
Demonic tongues. No. I don't think so.
No.
They know all the languages, of course. Every language knows all. But there's definitely demonic curses in various languages. I think the Brazilian ones, Macumbe, are really bad. Voodoo is really bad. Santeria. What's the other one? Brujas. The Santeria and curanderas. Those are pretty powerful curses.
Yeah.
And whatever language that is, and what they ask for. Voodoo is considered the worst. Macumbe is considered the second worst in the world. Hindu, yoga positions in yoga, pretty bad. Reiki.
Yeah.
Bad stuff. So
Reiki's terrible. Yeah, no, Reiki's terrible. AB, God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks,
for your support, AB. AB, thank you, brother. He says, and maybe you could talk about that a little bit. And you know what he's talking about. The scene with the progressive priest.
All right, so I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. This is what happened. So Carrie calls me up and says, "Hey, Father, when I read the script, I go, how come you making me look like an idiot?" And I go, because the way the dialogue was, I'm like, oh my gosh, what a wimp of a priest. But they were trying to establish that a lot of spiritual leaders are not taking their spiritual authority over the evil ones. And I totally agreed with that. I said, yep, as much as I hate looking bad, it's unfortunate that that's the only type of conversations I usually have.
Yeah. So
fast forward, Carrie calls me and says, "Hey, we got to make the priest look liberal, but we can't say anything. We're just going to do his dialogue, but he has to look liberal." And of course, I get paid the big bucks for being the smartest guy in the room on this stuff. And I said, "Oh, that's simple." I don't even think it was a half a second. Now, mind you, you've already seen the movie, so you can. You already saw what I chose. So, what do you think I told him to do to make that priest look liberal? See if you can figure it out.
I don't know. Put on that thing that he put over him.
What is that called?
Stole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In a millisecond, I said, he goes, "Father, how can we make it look liberal? You need to get a stole from the 70s or the 80s. Because the stole tells you immediately,
there. Yeah.
Immediately, the theology of the priest. Immediately tells you the
Yeah.
theology of the priest. Ooh, that's right. Good. So I got plenty of these stoles here in LA. I could bring them to the set. Oh, no, we'll take care of it. It's okay. So they gave me a choice between the one you saw on the camera, the Mexican one, and then their African one. I go, the African one doesn't work for me. Use the Mexican one. It looks, I'm not saying there's a lot of Mexicans in prison, but it looks more liberation theology looking than the other one does. So if you're looking for that liberal look, that's the best choice I had. So I probably would have had something else, but I think we want to know words on it. Just so anyway, that's what happened. And so that progressive priest and his hair and his age and the stole, all on purpose to show you. And AB says it. What's up with the progressive priest? Guess why? It's because of his stole. That's why you know
it already.
Know it. So it did exactly what we wanted. We wanted the whole world to see that the priest and other spiritual leaders are not taking control of the spiritual authority, and they'll let the demons walk all over them.
Yeah.
So
that's a great point. That's a tremendous one. And Sir Minimi, God bless you. Thank you for your support, my friend.
Thanks.
Great
Sir
question. Yes, thank you, my friend. Has the church officially condemned La Santa Muerte?
I believe so. I mean, it's part of all the occult stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, all over Mexico, bishops have spoken out against it.
Yeah.
It's wild. Why?
Not. You're not going to get anything from the Vatican saying, please. We officially say, it's part of the against the first commandment. It's pretty self-explanatory there.
And the good thing is, bishops in Mexico have come out and spoken out against it, and it's wild syncretism.
Yes.
Now, have you ever encountered anything with the Santa Muerte in your ministry, Father?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Because I'm not an exorcist. Because if I was an exorcist, I would guarantee with a lot of Hispanics, I probably would have ran into that.
Yeah, no doubt. You've been trained though, right? You have been trained.
I'm a trained guy. I'm uber careful how I say it. I say I'm a trained exorcist.
Yeah.
I'm not an exorcist. People ask me to do something, and like most priests can do what I do. To be an exorcist, all you need is permission from the bishop.
Right.
And I don't have it, nor have I asked to do it, and I'm too busy.
So you are a trained exorcist, though, and if you could possibly get that permission one day.
I could if I asked. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
I got a couple cases now where I don't have time for this. I don't even have a team. I hope you guys have a team here in the diocese, but you need a team. You can't do it on your own. Can't do it.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you needed. I know nothing about it. I didn't know you needed a team. Wow.
You need a psychiatrist, a psychologist. You need big, strong men who are people who can pray. People who are holy.
Father, you look like a big guy. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
There you go. Come on, Father. You look like you're built.
No,
like
I'm not saying I can't do it.
Yeah,
I'm just super
6'4".
uber busy. Yeah.
Wow.
So you need people like my size who can hold somebody down or whatever.
Yeah. Were you the tallest guy in the set there in Nefarious?
I think I was, yes.
Yeah.
The black guy, there was a taller than me black guy who were all black. And the only reason I say that because there was me who was white, there was another guy who was white, another guy was white, and two black guys. But one of the black guy was wearing all black, and he was taller than me. He was like 6'6", 6'7". Really nice guy. A lot of Christians, a lot of Catholics and Christians on the set. A lot of them. Yeah.
Right. TJ is asking, okay, by the way, TJ, God bless you. Thank you for your support, my friend. TJ says, why are white witches bad, even if they're good?
Because they're a witch.
Right.
That's simple.
There's
Lucifer. Satan. What sounds worse? Well, Lucifer meant light bearer. That's a cool name.
Right. Yeah. I mean, no matter what,
they're witches.
They're witches, and Catholic teaching forbids occult practice. It doesn't matter if the witch is claiming to do it for good or for evil. The church is always forbidden occult practices.
Yeah, ask Harry Potter, a good witch, a good warlock, a nice guy. By the way, I'll tell you right now, a lot of exorcists in the early 2000s were talking about how these kids were reading the books and saying that they didn't realize that the curses in the books were real, and the kids were getting possessed by demons because the curses in the book were real. In the book, not the movie. The movie was no big deal there, but in the books, Yeah, those are real curses, and they were having
So
problems all over the place.
I take it you're not a fan of the Harry Potter films.
The films were okay, but because I know how, because that's one of the things we learned is that she tried. What was her name? Rowling. She actually explicitly stated during back in the early 2014 area. She said that she channeled demons to write her books. And
Oh
then we
my
went back
goodness.
6 months later. We wanted to look. I was trying to look up the article. She had it removed because it was affecting the sales of the book. So, because people are like, we don't want to read a book that was channeled by demons. Well, that's what she said. I should have taken a picture of the screen and printed it up before. We thought it was going to stay there. We always thought the internet was always permanent. No, you can take it down. And she did.
That is something I had no clue. I didn't know about that.
Yes. Yep. Rippinger showed us. We were in class. He's like, here, look, she's right here. She talked about, she channeled when she wrote the books.
My goodness. And that I mean, that's pretty bad then,
Yeah.
because just doing that's
No matter how good you say they are as persons, it's a very bad thing they were doing.
Yeah, no doubt. Yes, I agree 100%. Well, we've been here. We've been doing it for an hour and a half, then, Father. So I guess let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
And I want to. So I allowed you to do it on the radio, and just to remind the audience, put in a plug. Maybe a few people arrive late. Maybe they didn't hear. Where can people find you? Where can they support you? And anything you're working on, webpage, anything? Go ahead. The floor is yours right now, Father.
Okay, we're Catholic Media Missionaries. Our website is CMM, the number one, not the word, .org. And then my book, 30 Days Unplugged, How a Catholic Priest Turned Off His iPhone and Took a Call from God. It's my 30-day silent retreat, Jesuit big boy stuff. Really, really good book. Really great art. Great way to do a 30-day silent retreat. And then the Hound of Heaven show. That's one word, one phrase, Hound of Heaven show on YouTube channel. You'll see our first 6 episodes of the 12 that the other 6 we're working on in post-production. And we interview famous and notable Catholics. And probably the most famous is Joe Mantegna from Criminal Minds and an original Mouseketeer. Those are probably the 2 most famous global names that we've interviewed. So, and then spread that out, subscribe to it, and then please, when you go online, cmm1.org, please, become a monthly donor, because we want to be able to make more shows. We're just we know that the shows. By the way, the priest. You talk about the priest part.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the priest, he's an atheist and agnostic in real life. I showed him my shows. He absolutely hooked on them. He's not even a believer.
Wow.
He's like, Father, I want more of these shows. So we need to make more of these shows so that we can get people like him into the church. He was told he for 5 years now, we've been texting each other. Hey, how you doing, Father? Hey, how you doing, Daniel? Hope things are going well. If you need anything, let me know. He's getting close to the end of life, and he's like, that because of these stories, it's changing people's lives, and that's the reason why we do this stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Now, this is a question that came in right before we finished. It seems like a serious one from the one above. He's asking, and God bless you, the one above. Thank you for your support. It's a serious concern. How is Saint Catherine of Siena a saint if she delusionally drank foul pus, bloody water from sores? How do we defend such things?
I'm trying to remember the context of why she did that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it was, and it's gross, by the way. Yeah. I'm wondering if it was, the context was for them to get healed, the person. I can't remember the story of that.
Yeah.
I don't recommend you do that, especially today, but I don't remember the context. I remember hearing the story, but I don't remember the context. It's hard to take the act out of all the full context of what was going on.
There you go. Yeah.
And I agree with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would answer by saying, number one, that it's vile. There's no doubt about that. But the other point would be saints aren't canonized for every single action they perform. So
Correct.
the church will always look at the totality of their lives.
Right.
And Father, you were right. According to the biographies, she did that because of there was a woman that she was suffering from a terrible disease, and her wounds were emitting that odor, and she was trying to pray for that person to overcome them. That is why that was done. Nobody recommends that, but that was done because there was a woman that was suffering from a terrible disease and her wounds were emitting that odor. That's why that was done. And I think that tends to get left out of it. And usually you see these people bring this up. They'll criticize St. Catherine of Siena. But I think if we read the whole thing and we look at nobody's saying that it's that it sounds good in any way at all.
No, I don't think so.
Not at all.
Well, look at St. John Paul II. What did he do? He supported the guy who founded Legionnaires of Christ.
Yeah.
We all found out later, evil man, evil.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
Not all of our actions are like, oh yeah, that was good job, John Paul. No one's saying that. He's like, you know what? John Paul goes, yep, I got deceived. What are you gonna do? Move on.
Got deceived. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But yeah, but look into that story, the one above, and thank you for your support. Look into that story. She was trying to help a particular individual out.
Right.
Now, we don't believe that is prudential in any way. But remember that when one is canonized, they look at the totality of a person's life and not just one or two actions. All right.
Yeah, and also, okay, that's great. So yeah, just remember, obviously the medical field is different now than it was then. So
no doubt. Father, would you be so kind as to give us a closing blessing, please?
May Almighty God bless all of you, protect you from the evil ones, and may Saint Michael intercede for you, the Blessed Mother, and your guardian angel will protect you and guide you to eternal life. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
All
Father,
right,
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Father. God bless you.
God bless you. We'll talk later.
Take care.
God bless you.
Thank you. God bless.
Bye.